right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them down in the chat, but I want to be cognitive of everyone's time. So I want to go ahead and just get started here. So own a machine, not a job. What does that mean? Well, who am I? So my name is Crystal Los. I am the CFO advisor, professional bookkeeper, business owner, financial coach, and author. So I use my financial background to help business owners have a growing and more profitable business. So I am successful at this precisely because I understand both sides of a business, the financial side and the business ownership side. I have been a business owner for 10 plus years, and I enjoy that side of it as well as having the understanding of the financial side. And as a bookkeeper and a CFO advisor, I can look at a business and spot the underlying reasons why a business is not profitable and has poor cash flow. So, and more importantly, I know how to fix it. I know how to make businesses grow and become more profitable. So I'm on a mission to help as many business owners as I possibly can have a growing and more profitable business. So on today's agenda, so why most businesses fail, let's discuss it. I have some statistics in regards to that. So we'll discuss that, the difference between a business that's a machine versus a business that's a job that you happen to own. And there are 3 sources of money for every business. We'll discuss those. And then how to get back control of time and money from your business. Why most business owners make less than 100K in income a year. And the 12 drivers that drive revenue, profit, and cash flow in every business that you need to watch like a hawk. So some housekeeping. So this workshop will last about 45 minutes. I want to save some time for some question and answers at the end. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat and I'll answer them at the end of the presentation. So please look for an email after this with my contact information, and then I'll also am recording this so you'll have it for replay if you would like to watch it back later on. So let's dive in. Why most businesses fail? That is the question. Well, most businesses fail, in fact, within the first 5 years. So the first year, 20% fail. The second, or between the second and third year, it's about 35% fail, and then 50% fail within the 5th year in business. Why is that? Well, think about it. 1 out of every 2 businesses are gone by their 5th birthday. I want to change that stat. I want everyone to be successful by their 5th year. So all that time, energy, money, gone, done, out the window. So all the hopes, dreams of an owner, gone. Whatever he had to start the business, gone. So all the owner is left with is a ton of debt and the realization that they must go back and get a job. So what's the reason why most businesses fail? Well, tons. They lack money. Money is the key to running a business, to having a business successful, is having money. So every business would still be in business today if it was able to have access to money. So money literally solves every problem. I know you hear that in society. Money solves all problems. It does solve problems. It does make life easier, but it does make your business run. So having a marketing problem, money allows you to have more marketing and hire marketing professionals. Have a management problem, money allows you to get better managers or allows you to hire people so you can manage instead of working in your business. So have a down market, money allows you to weather the storm. Have seasonal business, a lot of hotels, restaurants, attractions that are in tourist destinations. There is off times. So you want to have money that allows you to make it through to the next season. Have a sales problem. Money allows you to improve your product or service and hire more salespeople or better salespeople. So the list is endless. The point is, money solves every problem in a business. So how now money can come from 3 sources. Let's discuss those 3 sources. The first one, debt. Second, owner investments. And the third one, from the business. So the most common one that you'll see is debt. So let's talk about this one. Debt is credit cards, bank loans, vendors. So vendors that you are buying, let's say your roofing, construction, and you go buy all the supplies before the project, you have it on hand, you're ready for the project to start, even though you have not been paid yet for that supplies, you're still incurring that debt prior to you making money on that project. So you're buying from vendors, but paying later. Owner investments. This is usually what happens in the beginning of a business to help it running, get it up and going. But a lot of times owners will keep continually investing into their business to keep it afloat. So this comes from your personal savings, selling some stock that you may have in the company, giving away a piece of the business, and then you have from the business. So this money is what the business creates. This is what we want in your business. We want your business to create the funds, not you having to get debt or put your own personal funds back into the business to keep it running. So this is by far the best way to make money. So it's revenue, less operating expenses, less taxes, less debt payments, less customers who don't pay, less vendor payments. So in other words, it's all the cash that comes into the business, less all the cash that goes out of the business. So whatever is left over is what we're looking for. That's your cash flow. So to beat the survival rate, you must get good at making money. And that's not just your profit and that's not just your revenue. It's the leftover cash that you have after everything. So, and of the 3 ways to make money, there's a clear winner. Of course, you want the money to come from the business, right? You want to get good at making money from your business. And why is that? Well, some debt is good. So if it's used to buy something that will produce a return on investment, not I want a Mercedes van to run a construction company. There's no point in buying a Mercedes van to run a construction company. There's no return on investment. Yes, having a truck to use for that business is a return on investment because that truck is bringing in money to the company. It's taking the guys to the job site. It's carrying supplies and materials. It's being used to get a return on investment. So how you use the debt can benefit the company, but you don't want to get debt to save the company. There's a difference. But relying on debt is not sustainable. So a business that relies on debt to survive eventually will go out of business. So those that have debt and then get debt to pay for that debt and then more debt to pay for that debt just to try and stay afloat or get a quick loan just to put some money in the bank so they can make payroll or operational expenses, the company is on survival mode. And just because there is money in the bank does not mean there's money in the business. There is a difference. I get that all the time from clients. Oh, I have money in the bank. Why don't I have money? Because you really don't have money in the business. The bank is just keeping the business afloat by the debt that you're putting into the bank. So, and its owner still must pay all the debt off. So if the company goes under, that debt that you have accumulated goes on to the owner to pay off. So also a business that cannot support itself must rely on outside debt or investments as either one or two things going on. So either you have a chance of making a lot of money, so you got a huge pharmaceutical product that you're working on, or a huge tech app, website, something that you have that it's going to be the Apple iPhone 500. I don't even know. Something along those lines where you are having to invest a lot of money to get this product up and running before you launch it. That is where you have a lot of money down, and then hopefully it'll come back after you've launched this product and you'll make money on it. Or number 2, the business is not working and can't survive on its own, which unfortunately most businesses fall into the second category. So the bottom line is your business must get good at making money. So how do you do that? The answer lies in turning your business into what I call a money-making machine. So what is a money-making machine, right? Well, what do I mean by that? It is doing what a machine is supposed to do. Make money, work for you. So if the machine is not doing what it's supposed to do, make money, then like all machines that are not functioning properly, you need to determine the root cause of why it's not working and then fix it. So, as your machine is running at peak performance and doing what it's supposed to do, make money. Well, let's use an example of a washing machine, okay? You have a washing machine, it's there to wash your clothes. It has a purpose and it has something that'll help you and benefit you down the road by cleaning your clothes so you don't have to hand wash them like the good old days, right? Well, its purpose, wash clothes. It's made up of multiple parts, right, to make it run. If it fails at doing what it's supposed to do, wash your clothes, there's a reason why. If you find the reason why and fix it, then your machine will get back to doing what it's supposed to do, wash the clothes, right? Well, in other words, if the washing machine isn't washing the clothes properly or as good as it should, then there's also a reason why. Simply find the reason and fix it, right? Well, but do this only if you want your machine to do what it's supposed to do, wash clothes. So the exact same thing happens in a business. Your business should be thought of as a machine. It's made up of multiple parts, multiple things to help your business run, right? Like a machine. So its purpose is to make money. It's made up of multiple parts. You have your operational expenses, your payroll, your marketing, your supplies, your office expenses, your liability, your insurance, your taxes, all this stuff is the parts of a business. And so if it fails at what it's supposed to be doing by making money, there's a reason why. And we need to find that reason so we can fix it. And then the machine will continue to get back doing what it's supposed to do by making you money. So in other words, if the business machine isn't making enough money or as much money as it would like, then there's always a reason why. Simply find that reason and fix it, or hire someone to help you find the reason and help you fix it. So do this, if only if you want your machine to do what it's supposed to do and make money. So if you get your business to make money or more money, you can use that money to hire more people, do more or better marketing, improve the quality of your products and services, hire experts to help you grow your business, hire better management, expand locations, buy more equipment, vehicles, supplies, inventory, pay down debt, take time off because you now can afford somebody to take on some of your responsibilities or take your place. But the most important, take out for yourself. You are wanting to be a business owner so you can take money out and have more money than you made in the job that you left to be a business owner. So the good news is that, like a washing machine, every business is made up of the same parts. And each part has a hand in helping the machine do what it's supposed to do by making money. So to get your business to making money or more money, you simply need to get familiar with the parts of your business so that you can spot the parts that aren't working properly and do something about it. So we're going to talk more about the parts of the business to pay attention to in just a few minutes. But first, let's look at what happens if your machine isn't functioning properly or at all. If money isn't being generated from the machine, your business, and you don't or can't pour your own money into it, then you don't or can't take on more debt. Then you'll have a business that will eventually go out of business at worst. And you'll have a business that is constantly struggles to grow at best. So either way, you, the machine's owner, will be consistently stressed out, overworked, and underpaid. At the same time, most owners are afraid of their business failing for two reasons. First reason, they depend on the business working. They quit their job. They took all the responsibility of the money coming in on them to start this business. So their business must work. Their families depend on the business working. Their employees' families depend on the business working. They have so much time, energy, money invested in this business. Reason number two, they can't go back to a job. They go back to being employed because most business owners are unemployable. I can vouch for that. Two, they don't want to work for someone else again. There's a reason why we left our job. There's a reason why we became business owners, and we want to stay that way. So they've tasted the freedom, but don't want to lose it. So ironically, most business owners own a job and they don't realize it. So let's talk about machine versus a job. The most business owners own a job. We don't want to admit it, but we do. So a very stressful, low paying, and high demanding job with no guarantee of a paycheck. So, but most owners don't realize this until after they started the business. So in fact, most business owners start or buy a business because they want control, the opposite of a job. There's no boss. There's no clocking in and out. There's no asking for time off. There's no asking for sick time. There's no asking to go leave early to make it to your kid's soccer game. None of that. They want control of their time. They want control of how much they make. And ironically, because most businesses struggle to do what the business is supposed to do, make money, the owner loses control that they wanted in the first place. So they must work more in the business because they can't afford not to. They must work for less. Effectively, hourly rate goes down or lower prices due to competition. So at the same time, most business owners who started a business because they want control started it because they were skilled at a craft. An HVAC tech starts an HVAC business. A dentist starts a dentistry. A marketing expert starts a marketing firm. A chef starts a restaurant. A mechanic starts a mechanic shop. You know, all these is because of this. The business owner inadvertently starts a business that they're more like a job than they own it. But unlike a job, there's no steady paycheck. And there's no one to guide the owner. So in the absence of steady paycheck and guidance, the owner does what the owner knows best, right? What does the owner knows what to do? Why did they start the business? Because they were an expert in the field that they started their business at. They're an expert in plumbing. They're an expert in electrician. They're an expert carpenter. They're an expert plumber. That's why they started the business. So they rely on their skills. HVAC spends most of the time doing HVAC. Dentist spends most of the time doing business things. Marketing expert, chef, they all know what they're doing, which is why they started the business, right? But the other functions of a machine struggle because they're focused on their skill and not the running of the business. So things like getting clients, making sales, ensuring pricing is optimized, knowing what assets to buy, knowing when to expand, knowing if marketing is producing a return on investment. Did that ad you ran on the radio, did it have a return on investment? Did any leads come from that? The ad you ran on Facebook, did you get any leads from that? So knowing if you're getting return on investment in the money that you're spending to get leads, understanding the numbers, hiring, firing, managing employees, and on and on and on. These are all the structures of running a business. But those that start a business are focused on the skill of why they started the business, but not necessarily their skill of how to run the business outside of their skill level of what they're doing. So the business struggles. The business struggles because a business owner is wearing numerous amounts of hats. They're doing the payroll, they're doing the marketing, they're doing the fixing, they're doing the insurance payments, they're doing the taxes, they're doing the bill pays, they're doing the accounts receivables. So many hats are worn by owners. So the business struggles because the business owner who wants to practice their craft ends up having to do all the things they don't necessarily like or don't necessarily are good at or understand how to do. So the business struggles because the business is run like a job. He goes into his business, he goes in and he fixes a plumbing issue, he goes in and fixes an electrical issue, he goes in and fixes the havoc issue, he goes in and cleans the teeth of a patient, goes in and fixes the car that comes in, but they run it like a job and not a machine, especially a money-making machine. So eventually, even their craft begins to suffer because the business owner is overwhelmed and stressed. So they bought themselves a very stressful, a very expensive, and a very low-paying job. In fact, 86.3% of business owners make less than $100,000 in a year of income. If you're making less than 100,000, then you're making way too little, taking on way too much, and spending way too much time that you might as well just go get a job. For $100,000, it's not worth it. And most business owners are making less than that. So these business owners have the worst of both worlds. They have a job without a steady paycheck. They have a business without control that they really want. So what's the solution? Own a machine, not a job. So here's the solution. Turn your job into a machine. Specifically, you need to turn your job into a money-making machine. And like all machines, your money-making machine is made up of multiple parts. So if your machine fails at doing what it's supposed to do, make money, then one or more of the parts are not at peak performance. Your job as the owner of the machine is to ensure each part of the machine is running at peak performance. So in just a few moments, I'm going to reveal the 12 parts of every business that you need to ensure is at running peak performance. But first, I keep saying money-making machine. Well, let's just get crystal clear on what I mean by that. Like we discussed, all machines have a purpose. Their purpose is to make money. 3 things that makes money. Take money out for personal use, use the money to grow your business, or use it to increase its value. So if down the road you want to sell it. So take money out for personal use. Other than control of time, making money is what most people want from their business. They want to make more than they did in their job they quit to start this business, right? So you need a machine that allows you to take out as much as you want. You can use this money to fund a better lifestyle, go on vacation, pay off personal debt, send the kids to college, pay for that new car if they're at that age, and so on. So use the money to grow your business if you want to expand it to different locations. So money literally solves every problem in your business. So money not helps you stay in business, but it also helps you grow your business, expand your business, open up another location in another town, hire more people to be able to reach more customers. Use it to increase its value. So if you wanted to leave this business to your kids down the road, or if you wanted to be able to sell it so you can move and buy your dream home and move someplace else or start another company. So most businesses are sold as multiple of cash flow. So usually between 2 and 4. So if you sold your business, well, let's say your business creates $100,000 each year. Well, then it can be sold between $200,000 and $400,000. So if you want to increase its values, you need to increase how much your business creates every year. So on top dollar, you must increase the amount. As a recap, you want the business that makes money so you can do 3 things. Take money out for personal use, grow your business, or increase its value. So now let's talk about how to turn your business into a machine. The 12 parts of your machine. So as I mentioned earlier, each part of the business is made up of 12 parts. Your job as the owner of the machine is to make sure that each one of those parts is at peak performance. So each part's job is to increase the 3 areas: revenue, profit, and cash flow. What you sell is your revenue. Profit is what you sell minus your expenses. And then the cash flow is what you keep. Everything that's left over. So after your revenue, after all your operational expenses are taken out, all the cost of goods are taken out, that is what's left over as your cash flow. That's what we want to increase. So increasing cash flow is more important than increasing your profit, because profit is more important than increasing your revenue. Does that make sense? So if you have high revenue and low profit, it means your expenses are too high and your profit is going all into your expenses. Then you have little cash flow at the end. So as an example, let's say last month you made $50,000 in revenue. Expenses were $30,000, so your profit was $20,000. Then you have taxes, debt payments, owner draws, and didn't get paid by customer for $12,000. all that added up is, anybody have it? Negative $5,000 in cash flow. So this is a prime example, is I will have a lot of clients who be like, well, I still have money in the bank. Yes, you may have money in the bank, but you made a negative cash flow this month. So the next month, you have to come up with the $5,000 first to break even, then add to that. So you don't want to have a negative cash flow on multiple months. This money must come from somewhere, right? So either debt, owner investment, or business bank account. So the savings that you've accumulated in the past month is in there, right? That's going to make up for this debt to cover your expenses for that month. Okay. So the 12 parts of your business, your job is to get this number as high as possible each month, get profit as high this much, which is more important. But what's the most important is getting your cash flow as high as possible each month. All right. So the 12 parts of your business. Let's start with revenue. All right. So revenue, parts of the driver are leads and retention rate, average transaction value, the profit, parts of the profit, cost of goods sold, marketing expenses. These are all done by percentage of revenue. So let's say your cost of goods is 30% of your revenue goes to cost of goods. Marketing expenses, 50% of your revenue goes to marketing expenses. That is very high, by the way. You don't want to have 50% of your revenue going to marketing expenses. Then we have payroll expenses and overhead expenses. Those all determine your profits. Then what's left over is the drivers of your cash flow. Days sales outstanding, which is how long are you waiting to get paid? Days inventory standing, how long is your inventory in? Sale or purchase of assets, days payable outstanding, using or paying down debt, and owner investments or distribution. So let's go into each one of these. So, and if you want a list of these parts along with clear definitions and examples, go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen and you'll get that free one. I'll give you a second. All right. It'll be at the end as well, so you can scan it again if you didn't get it. Leads retention rate. So leads retention rate is the number of ideal customers that have been made aware of you. The percentage of customers who come back each year. So this is your leads retention or your referral rate as well. So you go and do, let's say, a roof, and then you get a call that they referred you to another person's roof. That's kind of retention rate of a client. Or they ask you, hey, can you come remodel my bathroom? Or can you come fix this, fix that? And they ask you for different services if your service provides that. Average transaction value. This is a big thing that I have with a lot of my construction clients, is the average value of each purchase a customer makes, which means your projects. So if you're not estimating your projects correctly, or you're not bidding your projects correctly, this average transaction value could be way down in what you expected. So if, let's say, your average transaction is $5,000 for a roof, well, then you're only making, let's say that roof costs you $4,850. You're making $150 on that roof. So that means your average transaction value needs to go up. Cost of goods sold. How much does it cost you to provide the goods to each sales transaction? Measured as percent of revenue. So if your cost of goods, let's say you have some vendors, I've had this conversations with some of mine in regards to their vendors. A lot of vendors will give you a percentage if you pay early, a discount, or if you refer them, or if you use them a lot. You should be getting the best deal that they can give you, especially if you give them hundreds of thousands of dollars of business a year. And there should not be any fees for late payments as well, and stuff like that. So it's really negotiating with your vendors if this is really high. And then we got our marketing expense. So this is also done as a percentage of revenue. So the marketing that you're using, are you getting return on investment? Is it good marketing? Are you getting leads from this marketing? That's another thing to look at. Payroll expenses. The total amount of payroll not already included in cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold, payroll would be your contractors, your 1099s. Those would be in your cost of goods sold because you're hiring contractors to do whatever work it is for you. If you're hiring them to do digital marketing, if you're hiring them to finish a roof, if you're hiring them to, their landscaping was messed up in the roofing process, then you have a contractor come finish the landscaping, fix that. It's whatever is outside the normal payroll that you would hire somebody as a W-2 employee that gets paid no matter what. So contractors is always included in the cost of goods sold. Then your overhead expenses. So all operational expenses, rent, insurance, office supplies, anything like that is going to fall under your operational expenses. Fuel, oil, maintenance, trying to think what else. Sponsorships, so many other things fall under operational expenses. All right, let's go to the cash flow drivers. Days outstanding, so the number of days it takes to collect from customers. Ideally, depending on what business you are in, you want to collect a payment on the spot before you even do any work done. Now, I know that that doesn't necessarily work in the construction and trades industry. So what I've always recommended is if all possible, really what they should do is if you're doing a construction project, remodel, roofing, anything that's going to be a big project, that you take the cost that you are going to incur to do prior to doing that roof. So if you're buying the materials, if you're getting permitting, if you're doing any surveying, anything like that that's going to cost you, you need to bill them first. So when they sign that contract, then you need to say, okay, this is what's due at time of signing, which is all your material costs, the permits, anything that's going to come out of your pocket prior to you completing that roof. And they pay the remaining balance, which is your labor, after that. So if something goes wrong with the roof, they've already paid for your expenses outright. Does that make sense? So, and we also want to get our customers to pay us immediately after that project is done. So before you walk off the job, they pay you. Days inventory outstanding. So if you are selling any type of inventory, you know, you want to get that stuff moving in and out of the shop. You don't want it sitting there because that's money sitting on the shelf that you could be making. Sale or purchase of assets. So if you're buying, you know, or selling truck, machinery, anything that will increase cash flow for that month, but not on a regular basis. So purchasing assets also will decrease your cash flow. So if you're needing a new truck or a new machine that month, new computer, new something, it will decrease your cash flow. Days payable outstanding. So I really encourage, if you have vendors that you use on a regular basis, that you ask them how long, like the max amount that they will allow you to pay that bill. So if it's up to 90 days, great. That is better for you because then there's more cash sitting in the business. So by the time you go and get paid for that project, most likely you'll have the money in hand to pay that bill before that bill is needing to get paid before you get paid. So then you have a negative cash flow. Does that make sense? So I really try to encourage, and a lot of 30 days, when you're doing actual commercial projects, and sometimes you don't get paid for 6 months on that commercial project, to expand as long as possible so that you can have more money in the bank to pay that huge supplier bill for that project. Using or paying down debt. So if you're going to pay down any debt, of course, it's going to decrease your cash flow. If you're going to take on any debt, of course, that's going to increase your cash flow, but it'll be a kind of a false sense of cash flow because, of course, it's not money you get to keep. It's money you have to pay back with interest. So you're going to lose money because you're paying the interest on top of that. So then owner investment or distribution. So investing your own money will increase cash flow. Taking distributions will decrease cash flow. And I prefer you take distributions instead of doing contributions to your business. So all 12 of the parts affect every part of your business. So here's the list again. If you want to go and scan that QR code, you can get that list and have all those definitions and everything for you. If you improve just one part of any of these 12 drivers, you will see an improvement in your business. If you improve 2 of these drivers, you will see a dramatic improvement of your business. But let's just say you improve 12 parts, all 12 of these you have improved. Can you imagine your business will become a money-making machine? Beyond imaginable. It would just be working so much for you, you wouldn't have to do anything. So this is how you transform your business. In a nutshell, to have a growing and successful business, you must turn it into a money-making machine. So to have a business that doesn't fail, you must turn it into a money-making machine. So to have a business that gives back the control that you want, the time, the money, you must have a business that makes money for you. So the point of a business is to, of course, make money. That's why it exists. However, although money making is the point, it's not the easy thing to do. So it's not necessarily easy because most business owners are not necessarily numbers people. I get it. Nobody's numbers. I didn't used to be until I actually enjoy it. And money, cash flow, and the 12 parts of business are all numbers based. They tell it's like a fortune teller. They tell what's happening in the business. They tell where the bleeding is. They tell, hey, you need a tourniquet here to stop this bleeding. This area is suffering really bad. So most business owners understand that they need to know their numbers, but they're not exactly excited about it, about poring over data to understand their parts and determine which one needs improvement. A lot of times they just don't have time for it. They just want to work harder, see you get more sales, bring in the money, but if they're not managing that money once it gets into the business, how much is going out, then it's going to fail down the road. But I am the owner of Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, and I am a financial professional who works exclusively with small to medium-sized business owners. So I do one thing well. I transform businesses into money-making machines, and I am passionate about that. I want everybody to be successful. I do not want these statistics to go down. I want less than 1% fail after their after their 5th year in business. That is the mission that I'm on. So I help businesses transform into money-making machines by meeting with my client once a month. And this is how it works. So we set targets. So we have a first meeting. It's called the kickoff call. We'll set targets for all parts that drive your business. At the end of the kickoff call, you'll know where you're aiming for revenue, profit, and cash flow. And we want these targets to be aggressive, yet realistic. And I want to have a wildly successful business and make a lot of money, right? So we want you to be overflowing with money. You don't know what to do with it. So then each month we will go and analyze your business and numbers to determine how well your business is performing. Then I'll forecast where I think you're heading for revenue, profit, and cash flow. That way we can take steps now to prevent any issues in the future. I'll do this before we get on our monthly call. And each month you and I will get on a monthly call via Zoom. I'll clearly show you where you've been, where you're going, and so you'll know how well we're doing and staying on track of the targets that we set. And those will be yearly targets. So we'll keep those targets and we'll constantly be looking at them throughout the year. We'll not change those targets till the following year. And then I'll give you a color-coded scorecard so you are crystal clear about what's working and what's not working in your business. Now, this is where the magic of this service comes live. You and I will then create a plan in that same Zoom call specifically designed to keep you on track to hit your targets each month. So instead of guessing what to focus on, I will show you. At the end of the call, you'll have a very precise action plan for you and your team. And the only thing left to do is execute the plan. So because the plan is specific and detailed, you'll know exactly what to do during the month to execute the plan. So however, if you run into any roadblocks or questions, I am just an email, a phone call away. And you'll have unlimited access to me at all times. I'll be your go-to financial guide. And then each month we'll repeat the entire process again, except set the targets because that's a yearly thing. And then the entire point is so that you can go from owning a stressful job to owning a successful money-making machine. So to transform your business, if you could use help on transforming your business into a money-making machine, there's a QR code right down here, and we can jump on a right fit call. It's 20 minutes. I want to learn all about your business. And so we can learn about you and ensure that I'm the right fit for you and you are the right fit for me. So I'll share you exactly what I'll do for you and how I'll do it and my fee. Does that make sense? So you decide if this is right for you. So to schedule a call, please go ahead and scan the QR code. I'll keep it on the screen for a few seconds. And then we'll be wrapping up here. So we'll take some question and answers. If you want a list of each of the parts, you can go ahead and scan the QR code at the top. If you want my help in transforming your business, let's get on a right fit call. Go ahead and scan that QR code. It'll give you a calendar and whatever works for your schedule. We can go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, and then I can check the chat and see. I don't really see any questions. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone said, good presentation, very informative. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Get a schedule right fit call. Awesome. Good. So go ahead. And we can, if you kind of have, I know it can be some personal, if you have business questions, we can always discuss those in the right fit call. So if you want to ask those questions there, that's perfectly fine. I know there is some things that go on that you just don't want everyone to hear. So I understand that tremendously. All right. Well, if that is all the questions, I look forward to speaking with you all and getting on a right fit call and seeing how I can help your business have a growing and successful eternity, however long you want to have your business. So thank you so much for joining me today on this webinar, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a good day.